Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I, 42 female, divorced my ex-husband Chad, 42 male, for cheating with his current wife, Rebecca, 30 female, a few years back. I'll spare the details, but basically, something Chad did set off alarm bells, so I did some snooping and discovered a paper trail that led me to Rebecca. I was furious and hurt, but instead of confronting him about it then, I waited and collected evidence. I found Rebecca on social media and joined one of the online clubs she was in. We had the same interests, so it wouldn't be that big of a red flag if either Chad or Rebecca found out, and I just played it cool. I waited until after our youngest was in school so I could get a part-time job and got Chad to pay for my certification so I could get a better job. During this time, he would go on trips, book hotels, buy gifts, etc. with a secret account that I was able to access because I know Chad well enough to guess his passwords and that he only sets his alerts when someone tries to use it. After I had moved certain things out of the house without his knowledge and convinced him to take his name off my car, I handed him the divorce papers at the hotel lobby he was in waiting for Rebecca. I had tons of pictures of them together, but only showed 3 of them when he tried to deny, and 2 more to his family when he tried to send them after me. Chad was up for a big promotion, so I told him that we could either get this divorce over with, or I could kick up a fuss which would make his employers reconsider his position. After I made it clear that I didn't want any alimony and that he could keep his retirement, we went our separate ways. Shortly after that, Rebecca got pregnant and they got married, and she aggravates to no end. But since my kids never complained, I was willing to just suck it up. Then recently, Rebecca decided to get a little arrogant and publicly criticize my parenting because my child didn't do so well at the end of the school year and how she'd raise her child to be smart. In the heat of the moment, along with some built-up anger, I lied and said it wasn't very smart of her to tip off the wife that she was the affair partner. Chad wasn't there, but his mom and sister were, and he called me that night to ask about it. He always wondered how I found out, and instead of telling the truth, I said that Rebecca was the one who tipped me off with the photos and told me when and where they'd be. And for some strange reason, Chad asked me to keep our kids for the whole summer, which I was willing to do in exchange for getting them on Christmas. I heard a few weeks later that Chad and Rebecca didn't have a very good summer. Rebecca has been messaging me constantly about this, but if it doesn't have anything to do with my kids, I silent mode. I was talking to my brother about this, and he thinks that while it's understandable why I lied, that it was still wrong. But since I don't care about Rebecca or Chad, I have to ask, am I the a-hole? The audacity of her to criticize OP's parenting is laughable, considering the questionable moral compass she's navigating with. It seems her and OP's ex prefer a life littered with deceit, so a taste of their own medicine should hardly come as a shock. OP's priority is her children's well-being, and she is protecting them whatever it takes. Sticking to honesty is important, but sometimes a strategic move to protect your kids from negativity is understandable. Rebecca is fine with people lying. She cheerfully spread her legs for a man who was lying to another woman about their family life, so obviously she gets off on dishonesty. Since Rebecca loves it when people lie, she has nothing to complain about. In fact, you're to be applauded for giving her life a much-needed, missing zing around lies in a relationship, not the a-hole. Everyone sucks here. Originally, they were the bigger a-hole. Now you are. You aren't just ducking your ex and his affair partner. Your lie is going to duck with your children and your children's sibling. Even if you don't give a crap about the innocent child who didn't wrong you. If your kids do, and consider them a sibling, and ever find out you were the cause of the kid's suffering, you can expect a long 18-year win. There is a very real chance you kill any relationship you have with your kids. After all, if you can lie about something so prolifically that you ruin a marriage, even one built on a bad start, and messed with their sibling, despite Reddit's hatred of affair partners, the vast majority of kids do end up loving their half-siblings because they understand even minutely that they are innocent. What else could you have lied about in their life? Everything you have said comes under suspect. Does their dad deserve it? Objectively, yes. He deserves to suffer for it. But you have kids with him, and now they have siblings through someone they are neutral to good relationship with. and a half-sibling now being hurt by your actions. Only time will tell, and you assume your brother hasn't told anyone yet, or that if guilt eats him enough, he won't spill the beans. People get soft when it comes to children. I am 19 female, and my stepsister is 20. My dad married her mom when I was 16 and she was 17. They dated for 3 years before they married. My mom died when I was 8. My grandma had this beautiful necklace that has been in the family since they immigrated from Italy about 3 generations ago. It was given to her by her mom, and so on. My grandma passed a few years ago, and so the necklace was given to my dad since she disowned his other siblings. So, all my life I was told that the necklace goes to the oldest child, usually the daughter, and given when they're 20. Well, my stepsister turned 20 last week, and one of the gifts that was given was obviously my grandma's necklace from my dad. Not gonna lie, I lost my crap. My stepmom was all for it, saying that it unites us as a family, and it's good to merge family traditions. I told her that merging family traditions applies to making cookies at Christmas, not giving away familial ties that's not in her bloodline. My dad's defense is that he's following the rules. She's the oldest, and she turned 20, so she should have it. My stepsister and I get on okay enough to have dinner together once a week, but she loves material things. So obviously when a pretty diamond necklace gets put in her hand, she'll die before she lets go of it. So 2 days ago, before I left to study abroad, I went into my sister's room while she was at a party and stole the necklace back. Now I'm in Germany, and my phone has been blowing up from my dad, stepsister, and stepmom. They're basically saying that I'm a brat and I need to give the necklace back before I get disowned. Am I the a-hole? Edit. My dad did not adopt stepsister. She only lived with us during the summer, 3 months, since her bio dad had shared custody and had her during the school year, when we were in high school. But since she's an adult, she was prepping to permanently move back to her hometown with her bio dad. She stayed with us for a few months for one last summer. Edit 2. My grandma did not know stepsister. She died when I was 14. This was when my dad and stepmom were dating and were introducing themselves to us. My grandma also did not like stepmother because she insulted her cooking once. I should have said this earlier, but my grams told me once when she was braiding my hair when I was 10 that the heirloom would look beautiful around my wedding gown when I got married. So that's also what motivated me to get it back. Seeing how everybody in your family gets disowned, maybe the necklace is cursed. Yes, the a-hole, but a soft one. I get your rage and sentiments, but your grandma gave the necklace to your father. He gave it to your stepsister, which is a total D move. But by taking the necklace, you basically stole it. It wasn't yours to take. Do you have anything in writing from grandma that it was supposed to go to you? Not a lawyer, but I'm not sure a familial tradition will hold up in court. My advice, keep it. Hope they will not report it to the police and live your best life in Germany whilst blocking phone calls from your family. The necklace was meant for you. It doesn't matter what they want, it's yours. Never give it back. They don't even sound like good family. So at the end of the day, it's with you as it should be, because your grandma wanted it like that. Not the a-hole to me. Legally, yes, the a-hole. But, nobody cares about that. Everyone sucks here. Theft is criminal. It was your father's property until he gave it to your stepsister. Then it became hers. This wasn't a case of your dying grandmother saying, "Give this to OP." It wasn't yours. Your dad gets a-hole points for promising it to you your entire life and then giving it away. That just makes him a liar. It doesn't make the necklace yours. Not the a-hole. Stepsister isn't your grandma's blood. I imagine your grandma was turning in her grave over her family's heirloom being given to, essentially, a stranger. Similar thing happened with the step-grandparent stealing items that belonged to my great-great-grand. People suck. Edit. Look into getting a safety deposit box. Don't bring the necklace back into the house. I'm 38 female. I have 4 kids. I lost my husband of what have been 26 years about 6 years ago. My 4 siblings and I were raised by our father and his wife. I don't really have a close relationship with my mother or her children she has with her husband, but we're respectful enough to hold conversations and do family gatherings. My half-sister, Cam, 28 female, got engaged a few years ago to her children's father and boyfriend of 10 years, and she mentioned to me and other siblings about how it's been hard for them to find a bridal set of his and hers rings that they liked. Due to my career, I don't wear jewelry often. I do, however, wear my marital ring still whenever I go somewhere, and I wear my husband's ring on a necklace. I'm rarely without either if I'm not at work. About 3 weeks ago, my sister's fiancé Malcolm, 40 male, texted me in reference to the rings, saying how Cam had always loved the ring and that he would pay me for them. I was caught off guard, because while some people may be able to do such things when they lose someone they love, I couldn't. My rings hold more sentimental value to me than financial value. I declined and gave him a few suggestions on where they could look. My husband was a jeweler. He designed and physically made our rings himself, so I would never part with them. They're inscribed with our names and the day we met, which is also the day we got married, and all. I honestly don't see myself getting remarried, but if I were to, I would pass them down to our children. He must hadn't liked my response, because then my sister called me a couple days later. She said Malcolm had told her about my refusal to sell the rings, and I told her yes, because they're sentimental value to me. This is when it takes a turn. She was hoping we could bond over me passing my rings on to her, that she really felt she shouldn't have to even ask, since we're sisters. I explained to her in the nicest way possible that my rings aren't something I would just pass on to her. She started hollering and calling me all kinds of names, so I hung up on her and blocked her. My mother calls me a few days ago, letting me know she's heard about what happened, and while she understands my point on it, that my sister is entitled to feel a way about it. I told her she isn't, especially when we're discussing something that belongs to me. She's not entitled to what I have. She told me that I needed to be more mindful of what my sister is going through. I kindly told her my rings aren't for sale. Then she told me to be prepared to not come to the wedding. I told her I wasn't going in the first place before I blocked her as well. My mother's family have been at my throat about it, while my dad and his wife and my siblings are backing me. Not the a-hole. Wow, not only selfish of them, but cruel to make an issue of it. Your husband passed, and the rings were made by him? Who in their right mind would think you'd ever give that up? Not the a-hole, but she and whoever is on her side certainly are a-holes. You are correct. The rings are yours, and they had no business even asking for them. How entitled, selfish, and cold-hearted they are. I wouldn't go to their wedding if they paid me. Please accept my condolences on losing your husband. I hope this rift doesn't tarnish your memories of those beautiful rings. They should be ashamed of themselves. Not the a-hole. This makes me so angry. Your husband made the rings for you. The dates don't even apply to the other couple, and he has passed away. These are keepsakes and mean a lot to you. If they don't have a lot of money, might I suggest they go to an antique shop and pick out rings for each other? My mother's friends did that, and they were unique and less expensive. Please, please stick to your convictions. These rings are yours. Are they insane? Tell Cam and Malcolm if they love your rings so much, stop being cheapskates and go have their own designed and made. This is beyond flabbergasting. Wedding rings for you and your deceased husband? That he designed specifically for you two. Not the a-hole. It's offensive she even thought of it, let alone asked. I, 28 female, met my husband X, 30 male, 10 years ago. At the time, he was a single dad to a 6-month baby girl, Lily, 11 female. I worked at the bakery he'd stop at every Saturday before their walk, and eventually we started going out. We got married 6 years ago, and I legally adopted Lily soon after that. In my family, it's a tradition that the oldest daughter gets gifted an old sapphire ring on her 11th birthday. The ring belonged to my grandmother, who gave it to my aunt, who gave it to me, because all of my cousins are male. Lily's 11th birthday was a few months ago, and I gave the ring to her because she's my oldest daughter. She loves that ring more than anything. She put it on a chain to wear around her neck so that she could keep better track of it, and in the months that she's had it, I've never seen her take it off. My sister Mia, 24 female, is one of Lily's favorite people. Lily really loves her aunt, and sometimes Mia will just text to let me and X know that she's picking Lily up from school to go eat, or go to the bookstore, or something like that. The other day, I got one of those texts from Mia, so I just told her to be safe, have fun, and make sure my daughter came home at a decent time because it was a school night. Lily got home about an hour after we had dinner, and she barely said hello to her dad or me before she went up to her room. I thought that maybe she was just tired, so he and I didn't immediately ask her what was going on. But later that night I went to go check on her because I wanted to be sure. When I walked into her room, I saw that she had been crying. I asked her what was wrong, and it took a minute, But she eventually told me that Mia took the ring from her because it's a family heirloom that's supposed to go to the actual oldest daughter, and because I adopted her, that means she isn't really family. The only reason I didn't go to Mia's apartment that night to get it back was because I spent the rest of the evening reassuring Lily that she is my family, and she is 100% my actual oldest daughter, no matter what our DNA is, or what anyone else says. I left Mia a voicemail the next morning telling her to return the ring before I drive over there and get it myself. She texted saying she would only give it to me if I had a daughter before she did, but until then, she'd keep it safe to make sure I didn't give it back to the wrong person. So then I told her that if she didn't return the ring by 2 p.m. that day, I would be calling the police and reporting it stolen. She started texting like crazy, saying I was being ridiculous and doing too much. Our mom is in on it now too, and she thinks saying I'd contact the police was taking it too far, and that Mia was only trying to keep it to the family tradition. Not the a-hole. She took a birthday gift from your child, and then told that child that she wasn't really family. Your sister is lucky that all you did was say you'd call the cops. Not the a-hole. Mia is not the fun aunt she appears to be. She manipulated the relationship and has shown her true colors and thoughts about Lily now. What a disgusting person to do this to your daughter. Ignore them all, and please phone the police and stand up for your daughter. And go no contact with all these people who think it's okay to steal from an 11-year-old and treat her as less than your daughter. My husband and I are 21, and we have a 6-month-old. This will be important later. He grew up kind of spoiled. I remember on his 16th birthday, his parents said, "Come outside, there's something we want you to see." And there was a beautiful white BMW with a red bow on the hood. I graduated in 2019. During high school, most kids' cars were 2000 through 2005, and they were all Hondas and stuff. His was a 2009 BMW 335i. He was also very good-looking throughout high school. He could probably have any girl he wanted. He always had some Supreme on and Yeezys, and had this beautiful MCM backpack. I was gifted my mom's old 2001 Honda Pilot when I got my license. I was never very pretty. My clothes come from Target. My backpack was a black JanSport. I've been with him since we were 14, and nobody has really ever said no to him. It's kind of concerning. Well, when we were seniors, he got a second car, a 2001 BMW Z3. It has been 4 years, and he's put a lot of work into it. Engine modifications, repainted, new seats, wheels, all that. It's a beautiful car, but I hate it. It's a manual. I can't really drive it. So when my car is blocked by it in the driveway, I'm kind of screwed. We just got him a new car. I don't know why he needs two, because he can only drive one at a time. And the worst part is the noise. It is obnoxiously loud. He commutes for work, so he wakes me up at 6 when he gets up for work. I am a total cuddler. When he leaves, I cuddle with our son. Sometimes he drives it to work. So I'll be snoozing with my baby all until 7:45 a.m. when I hear his loud car wake me back up and wake our son up. So then I have to deal with a crying baby. I told him to put it on Facebook Marketplace because I'm done with it. It's wasting space and it's a major inconvenience. He said he can't. He's restored it and he refuses to let it go. I said he has 24 hours or I will. He asked if he could store it somewhere else. I said no. We aren't paying someone to let it sit somewhere. Plus, including his Z3, we have 3 cars. Why the duck would we need 3? He refused still, so I put it up on Facebook Marketplace. Someone offered me a very high amount, but I don't know if I can do this. I would feel horrible, but I know this is the only way I'll be able to get rid of it. Edit. For those wondering, yes, he is aware it's on Facebook Marketplace. We both agreed we are just testing the waters and not selling it yet. He even admitted the offer I received is a considerable amount. No, I would not sell his car behind his back. Yes, the a-hole. You describe him as spoiled, and he's never been told no. But here you are insisting he get rid of a car because you don't like it. He said no to selling his car, yet you posted on Facebook. Sounds like he isn't the only spoiled entitled one here. He can drive the car on weekends or when it won't wake you. A car sitting in your driveway is not a waste of space. He just needs to not park behind you. It feels like it's about more than just the car. You seem to want to take it away out of jealousy. Who cares what you all had in high school? He worked hard on that car and loves it. Leave it be. Everyone sucks here. You're the a-hole for selling his property without him consenting. He would be able to sue over that. He's the a-hole for not listening to you and caring about your needs over his. He's spoiled and upset that someone is saying no to him. Honestly, you might just be incompatible. If you care enough about this relationship, try talking to him again and consider couples counseling. Yes, the a-hole. You sell that car, you'll probably be served with divorce papers. You both need to communicate. You're married and have a child. Start acting as a team or your marriage will fail. Can he use his other vehicle during the work week and use his other vehicle on the weekends? Also, how do you plan on selling a vehicle that isn't in your name? Do you want to go to jail? Because that's how you could end up with a record.